We've just been sitting out here drinking coffee. I suddenly thought and said to Mark that I'm a bit concerned about the amount of seed pods on this wisteria. I've never seen this many seed pods. And there's a sort of two ideas I have. One is that it didn't get a chance last year to make flowers and therefore seed pods. Or this is a plant that thinks it's dying and is putting out its last, last chance, really. I don't know. They need to ripen off and then they'll ripen off and start bursting when they get really dry. Gonna try and creep up on the butterflies, but if I get too close they fly away. There's a hummingbird hawk moth there, very small one. I don't know whether I'm catching it on film. They move so quickly. These are beginning to flower again. It's got a couple of dead heads, I think, somewhere. It feels more comfortable out here. I think the weather is going to be cooler. I haven't looked. I thought we'd got another day of heat wave, but this feels really comfortable. It's 10:20, so it might get too uncomfortable. It might get uncomfortable later on this afternoon. I've got this on because I'm feeling a bit sensitive to the light, and it just helps lower the light level coming into my eyes. I'm using antihistamine drops in my eyes. It's making such a difference. I can't tell you. Such a difference. I was walking around on Sunday feeling like shit. And we went to the pharmacy yesterday and I got some more old physiologic and some antihistamine drops and started using those yesterday, and I felt so much more comfortable. So I'm really pleased about that. Somebody said to me in comments about Piriton will make you drowsy, Claritin won't. I'm probably not going to be able to get Claritin here. I'll have a look. Piriton's not really made me drowsy. Now and again it does, but it hasn't so far. I haven't taken any today. I took one last night before bed, and I had a much more comfortable night than I've had for a long time, so that's good. If you enjoyed, those of you that enjoyed the very short video of the rain, if you look at Living in the Loire, Brooke and Rebecca's blog, he has done a vlog of him pointing the barn wall. But in the middle of that, or I can't tell you what time it was, but in the middle of that, there's lovely footage of a storm. That was a bit frightening because there's only normally two. There's one or two, there's never three. So the third one was a bit frightening. You wouldn't have been able to read my lips, I'm sure. Oh. Where was I? Oh yeah, talking about a peaceful vlog. We're talking about Brooks' vlog, which is very peaceful if you like that sort of thing, very restful. He's working really hard, but there is lovely footage of the incoming storm and the rain, which I mean I love because we don't get a lot of it here. I really love it, and there's also some lovely footage of the combine in the field opposite, you know, running along. He does some really nice drone footage. He's a brilliant editor. Highly recommend their channel, Living in the Loire. So yeah, if you want more rain, there'll be some there. What was I going to say about rain and storms? I don't know. Can't remember now. Oh well, it'll come to me. Yeah. So there's the final part of the Selmar interview out on Chateau Wrap-Up. I have to be careful how you say that because it's you know, it's easy to get it wrong. Chateau Wrap-Up. There's another interview from the final part of the interview with him. I think they've got some interesting guests. I've had a bit of a insight into who's coming up next, and I don't know whether it's next now or next in a few weeks' time, but it'll be interesting to see those next vlogs coming up from them. What was I thinking about? That's put me off, those aeroplanes. It's just taken the words out of my mouth. Was I going to recommend another channel? I don't think so. No, I don't think I was. I'm going to pause you whilst I think about what I was going to talk about. If I was going to talk about anything significant. I can still hear those aeroplanes in the distance, unless it's another plane. The sound is travelling so far. Yeah, there wasn't anything else, I'm sure. I will, next time we have a storm, I might film it. I've not done one. I did a road trip yesterday, but it wasn't very good. The sunflower fields are out, and but the trouble is when you're rushing past them in the car, you can't see them. They don't have the same impact, and I said in the video that you're not going to see that unless you are coming at the sunflower fields with the sun behind you, you're not really going to see the flowers, because the flowers turn towards the sun, which is why they're called tournesol, because they turn towards the sun. They're photo something, Mark said. I can't remember what they said. He said they were now. So yeah, I decided not to show it because it just seemed boring to me. And I know a lot of people are bored by the road trips, but no, the sunflower seeds didn't, flowers didn't come out. There's a sunflower field just up the road here, and it really pisses me off because I can't walk that far now, not easily. I could think, okay, I'll take you for a walk to the sunflower field, but I'm not sure. It's ridiculous, you know, it really isn't very far. That's what I was thinking about. I was thinking about not that long ago. Hold that thought. You didn't miss me, did you? I needn't tell you when I'm pausing, really, because it's not that obvious, I don't think. Talking about walking, and I have to keep reminding myself, because I just think I start judging myself about, oh, you're not bothered, you're lazy, you're not doing it, la la la. And I have to remember that back in 2020, late 2020, I had started walking again after a long period of not being able to walk. And I'd started walking, and then I set myself some challenges. So I did this race at your pace, and in December 2020, I did 78 miles. Really pleased with myself. So I set myself another challenge in May, still race at your pace, in May 21, and I did 108 miles. And then it's got no date on it, probably later that year, so what was that, 2021, I did the Southwest Coast Path Walk, which is 630 miles, virtually, of course. I've spoken about this in another vlog, I think, But it's like I have to remind myself. So I did that. I worked out that at 100 miles a month, that would take me just over 6 months. But towards the end of it, I was obviously getting ill again, and wasn't aware. I'm not aware when my PMR starts to flare or when my steroids aren't enough. And I, I just think, oh, I can't do this. I can't do this. And I can remember probably the last 100 miles of that was really, really hard and took so long that everybody I started with 4 friends, and everybody I started with, some of whom I was ahead of, all overtook me and finished way before I did, which upset me a bit, but c'est la vie. I did finish, but I can't remember what there's an island just before, I think it's Portsmouth, Isle of something, not Isle of Wight. It's it just seemed that I was stuck in this place for weeks, just sort of like each day was like a couple of miles, each day was all I could manage. And what was happening was that the mileage that I was adding was only in my activity around the house. I wasn't going out walking because I couldn't, so all of it was just my activity, going down to the chickens and backwards and forwards in the house. So when I think about that, and that's only, well, that was 21, so it's only 2 years ago, it bugs me that I can't just walk round the corner to the sunflower fields, but I can't walk up to the end of the hamlet now. I just can't, and it pisses me off. And I know that there'll come a time when I can again, but I'm not really sure why I can't, but there you go. So I was quite pleased about that. It's nice to go back and look and think I did do it, and I can do it, and have done it in the past. It was really hard to begin with when I began walking again, because I'd lost I'd got no muscle tone around my hips, and all of that supports you when you're walking, all of that had gone, and I was wearing a back brace. I was walking with sticks. But within, I don't know, 6 weeks of walking daily and really walking, I started to not need those supports because my muscles were building up. And I've still got the muscles, I know that. I can tell on the good days, I can tell by the way I walk down the garden to sort the chickens out that all my muscles are there. So I'm really pleased about that. Talking of chickens, we've got a broody hen who's being a pain in the arse because she's brooding in the corner where the red mite were. I'm hopeful they're not there, but I just wish she'd come out of that corner. Every day I drag her out, but I don't want to touch her because I don't want to get red mite on me. So that long spoon we pick the eggs up with, I scoop her out. This morning I've scooped her out, and they're all out and they can't get back into the coop. And I will go down and chuck more diatom down and spray some more alcohol and hope that I'm on top of the red mite. And I watched at least one black chicken and one interested black chicken climbing up onto the top of the compost heap created by Kez last week when he cleared the coop, and going down on the right hand side of it down into a very inaccessible area. And I know she's laying eggs down there. So later today, when I've got enough oomph, I'm going to go down and take some of the compost off there and put it somewhere else so that I can access the egg stash, because we've not had eggs for days. She's not had access. I've put 2 nest boxes in the coop, but she's not had access to that compost heap for 2 days. I've not let them out. So I don't know what she must be hanging on. She must be holding on to her eggs, because nobody's laid an egg anywhere, not even in the nest boxes, and I deliberately left them in so they got no access to anywhere but the nest boxes, and there are no eggs. Oh, there were 2 eggs. There were 2 eggs last night when I removed the broody. One of them was broken because she's on hard ground, and one of them I dropped, so I chucked those. So there were 2 eggs. Oh, that explains a little bit. So they're not hanging on to their eggs, they're just not laying them where I want them to lay them. But that's chickens for you. Anyway, that's it. That's a bit of a chatty vlog, and I'm gonna go in now, close this door, keep any heat out that's coming up, although it's still not too hot out here, and see you next time.